Hello, how are all my kindergarten friends today? Well, that's good to hear. Today, I thought for math, we'd go back to doing a little bit more with measurement. Now, yesterday we talked about some ways to measure things. We could use standard things like a ruler. That means it stays the same. My rulers at my house is going to be the same as the ruler at your house. We also talked about measuring with non standard things like shoes. Riley's little baby shoe is not going to measure something the same as my big tennis shoe. So that would be non-standard. So today I decided I'm going to measure a few things using my ruler. Now, when you measure something, it's very important that you put it up against the edge, the end of what you're measuring, because otherwise, if I just laid it here and told you that this pencil was 9 inches, that would not be correct because I did not start back here at the beginning or at the end of my ruler. So if I put that back here and measure it, I can find out that my pencil is almost 8 inches long. Let me move my finger out of the way so you can see that I got all the way to the end. So my pencil is almost 8 inches. Now, I'm going to measure a brand new crayon. How many inches long do you think that is? My pencil was 8. Do you think it's going to be more than 8 or less than 8? I'm guessing it's going to be a little bit less, don't you? It looks it's going to be shorter. So I'm going to put it up against the edge and I'm going to measure it. And it looks like my crayon is almost 4 inches long. What about this little book here? I'm going to measure the edge of it. How long do you think that book is? Is it longer than my crayon? Is it longer than my pencil? Let's find out. My book is just a little over 5 inches long. So it's longer than my pencil, but it is shorter than my crayon. You know, someday I'm going to get this figured out on how to hold this up so that you can see it better. But until then, whoops, there goes my crayon. Uh-oh. I busted the tip off. You think it's going to be longer or shorter without the tip? Yeah, it would be shorter, wouldn't it? Now, one last thing I want to measure is my eraser for my whiteboard. Longer or shorter than the crayon? Let's find out. My eraser is almost 2 inches. Now, let's say I didn't have a ruler. Let's say I was using this tape measure instead. Do you think that this would still be 2 inches? Well, let's find out. So here's my tape measure. Put it up to the end. Yep, it is 2 inches, remember, because both of these are standard. They're going to be the same no matter where you're at. Let's see if my pencil is the same. I'm going to make my tape measure a little longer here. And remember, that was almost 9, or almost 8, I mean. Oops. Yep, it's almost 8 inches long because it's standard. Now, your homework for today is to find something inside, outside, wherever you can, that you think is shorter than 6 inches, that's longer than 6 inches. And if you're really ambitious, see if you can find something that's almost exactly 6 inches. Now, if you don't have a ruler or a tape measure, you can always use something like pennies. Just use 6 pennies. Can you find something that is shorter than 6 pennies? longer than 6 pennies, or maybe exactly the same. Now, the trick for that is, let's see if I can get my camera down here where you can see. When you are measuring with something like pennies, the important thing is to make sure that there's no gaps in between your pennies. I can't measure like this because there's great big gaps there. Okay, I could say that my pencil is almost 6, but if I move them closer together, that's right. It's not even close to 6, is it? I would have to put a lot more pennies out there. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. My pencil is 10 pennies. But it's only 8, close to 8 inches. All right, see if you can find something longer, shorter, and exactly the same as 6 inches or 6 pennies or 6 paper clips, whatever you have. All right, kindergartners, happy measuring.